final module in WebIDQ is the Results section. In Results, processed kit data is displayed and organized before exporting for further data evaluation. The kits included in the report are selected from datasets that have already been imported and validated. Once loaded, the display format can be customized, data normalized, and then finally downloaded. To get started in Results, the sample data to be displayed must first be selected from the available, validated datasets contained in the WebIDQ database. The data can either be loaded from a single plate run, single kit, or multiple kits, depending on the scope of the project. Start by clicking the Select Data drop-down menu to choose what data to load into the results. If the plate barcode identifiers are already known, enter or paste this information into the field. You can also use the search field to look up the desired dataset based on project or submission keywords. The search can be further refined by clicking the search options and providing as many details as necessary. Otherwise, just select the plate runs from the list below. By opening the project or submission, you can select which plate runs will be displayed. You can also just click the whole project or submission and all plate runs contained inside will be loaded. Multiple entries can be selected at one time and will not be loaded until you click off of the menu. Individual plates can be removed by clicking on the X button next to each barcode, or the entire selection can be cleared by clicking the larger X button on the search bar. After selecting and loading sample data, the results table below gives a preview of what the data will look like after exporting. The table can be sorted by clicking on any of the headers. Clicking again will reverse the order, and a third click will disable the sorting. Extra levels of sorting can be applied by control-clicking on additional headers. The second drop-down menu in the subheader indicates the types of values being displayed in the data table. By default, this will be set to concentration and display values in micromolar. In most cases, the concentration will be the most appropriate value to display. However, there are other options which are further described in the user manual. The Display Options drop-down menu gives several options which we will discuss briefly. Show Unknowns Only will display only the study samples and remove all of the biocrates samples such as calibrators and QCs. Show Class will only display the metabolites specified in the drop-down menu. Show BioID will display the metabolite identification numbers and provide direct links to the publicly available databases like Human Metabolomics Database or Lipid Maps. Keep in mind that not all databases will contain every metabolite, and some metabolites may have multiple entries within a single database. Show Analytical Details will display the upper and lower limits of quantification, while further details can be selected with the toggles below. Sort Columns By will change how the metabolites are sorted in the data table. And Concentration Unit will change the value of the displayed concentration in the data table. Check the user manual for more information about using tissue factors or cell numbers. Next, we'll discuss the normalization available in WebIDQ. Activate the normalization toggle and then use the drop-down to enable batch normalization. The recommended normalization for most experiments is to use normalization versus target values with QC level 2 as the sample source and the method set to median. It's recommended that whatever sample is used as a reference for normalization is run in at least replicates of 3 for best results. Normalization versus target values will perform a normalization that's based on the accuracy observed in the quality control sample selected. Using this method, a correction factor is created for each metabolite based on the deviation in accuracy observed in the quality control samples. For more information about sample normalization, including normalization without target values, with pooled samples, and with custom QCs, please refer to the normalization section of the WebIDQ user manual. Selecting normalized values less than LOD will also normalize values that are below the limit of detection. This avoids situations where normalized values are normalized lower than the reported limit of detection. The creatinine normalization option is used exclusively for the analysis of urine samples, and divides every metabolite by the creatinine concentration within each sample. Enabling the Subtract Median Concentration of 0 samples option can be useful when dealing with low abundance samples with very low concentration metabolites. Metabo Indicator tool in WebIDQ provides a set of pre-configured sums and ratios that prove to be particularly informative on certain clinical conditions or pathophysiological events. Custom user-defined sums and ratios can also be created and added to the list. Additionally, these indicators can significantly reduce biological and analytical variability and can help improve the specificity of many findings. All sums and ratios are automatically calculated and displayed at the end of the results table. You can use the toggle button to activate or deactivate all Metabo indicators. Using the Metabo indicator drop-down menu allows you to select individual indicators that can be activated or disabled with the toggles. Multiple indicators can be activated or deactivated simultaneously by selecting them in the list and then using the check or minus button to activate or deactivate respectively. To view additional information such as formula, description, and literature references, select one of the indicators from the list and then click the Info button. To create a custom metabolism indicator, click the plus button and fill in all the required details. Once you finish entering the equation, click the Validate button to check if the equation is acceptable. If everything looks good, click OK to add it to the list. Custom equations can always be edited or deleted at a later point. Once the samples have been selected and the display options customized, results can be exported in a variety of formats depending on the downstream data analysis or reporting requirements. Use the Export drop-down menu to customize the export format before saving. You can choose which file format the data table will be saved as. Keep in mind that measurement status colors will only be visible when using the Excel format. Selecting transpose values will flip the rows and the columns of the table. Choosing to export the status information will add the status, such as valid or less than LOD, as a separate column per analyte to the final data table. Choosing to export all types of values at once will export additional information such as analyte intensities, peak areas, area ratios, etc. to the final data table. For the last option, you can replace any analyte status with a different value. For example, by default, any measurement below the limit of detection will be replaced by the text less than LOD. You can activate or disable these with the toggle boxes or change the message by double-clicking in the text field. After configuring all the settings as described above, the complete data table can be exported by clicking the Export button, and the file will be saved automatically to the Downloads folder. This concludes the final video in the WebIDQ tutorials. In this section, we looked at how to load the kit data results, customize the display, normalize the quality controls, and add metabolism indicators before exporting. For additional information, please review the online WebIDQ user manual or contact biocrates support whenever you have any questions.